Area Recreation and Park District at 6:30. Mr. Leash, lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
Please stand. Put your hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Get roll call, please.
Division 1, Kim Gerald Johnson. Here. Division 2, Jose Luis Divina.
Present.
Division 3, Tammy Rita is absent. Division 4, Edgar Pastelan.
Present.
Division 5, Robin Leisure.
Here,
Any presentations or recognitions tonight?
it's not this evening.
Any public comments? Does anyone wish to pull anything from the consent calendar?
I move approval of the consent calendar.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes 4-0. All right, moving on to board action items. Item 5.1, adoption of resolutions number 2025-17 through 28. Approving for fiscal year 2025-2026 Community Facilities District number 2004-1, 2004-2, 2005-1, 2005-2, 2006-1, number 2007-1, 2014-1 and 2, 2015-1 and 2, 2016 and 2020-1 special tax levies. Mr. Dugley.
Say that 5 times. Yes, I'm actually going to turn this over to Ms. Griffith. She's here to present this item and answer any questions you may have.
Right, so tonight is the annual adoption of the resolutions that we put onto the tax roll for the levy for the CFPs. And as the CFP program has grown, so has the revenue. So the district is now generating approximately $4.6 million in maintenance funds for the CFDs. So the ones that are still building out are 2006-1 and 2016-1, which of course we continue to annex into. So those numbers will grow over time. Most of the special taxes increase by CPI or a combination of the greater of 3 or 4% or CPI. This year CPI was about 3.42%.
Questions or comments?
You go all with the resolutions at once, or do we have to
You
do?
can simply just say, move as presented if you something along those lines. We don't have to go through line by line.
I would move adoption of resolutions as listed on the agenda items for recommendations 1 through 8. And also adoption of
1 through
resolution.
12, Mr. Alicia.
Oh, I was just.
Yeah, to the next page.
They were separated. All right, 1 through 12.
Second.
We'll do a roll call now.
Please.
Kim Gerald Johnson.
Aye.
Edgar Pastelan.
Yes.
Ross Leisure.
Yes.
Jose Luis Divina.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Moving on to item 5.2, public hearing and introduction of resolution number 2025-29 and resolution number 2025-30, approving the final engineer report and ordering the levy and collection of assessments within the Barupa Area Recreation and Park District Maintenance Assessment District for the fiscal year 2025-2026. Mr. DeWitt.
Yes, same thing. I'm gonna turn this over to Ms. Griffith.
Again, this is the second of the 2 actions that you need to take for the annual assessment, the $15 assessment. This is a public hearing, so you will want to open the public hearing and take any public comment and then close the public hearing and then adopt the resolution if there are no further questions or amendments to the engineer's report.
So do I just
Open the public hearing,
All
yes.
right, I will now open the public hearing for item 5.2. Public comments or? All right, I will now close the public hearing for item 5.2. And
Any discussion? Otherwise, we can entertain a motion.
any questions or comments?
We do need 2 separate motions.
What were the 2 numbers again? 2025 dash what and what?
Oh, it was actually
29.
29 and 30.
29 and 30. So the motions.
Oh, I see. Sorry. Well, I will go ahead and move that the Board of Directors adopts resolution number 2025-29, a resolution of the Board of Directors of Hoopa Area Recreation and Park Maintenance District approving the final engineer's report of the Hoopa Area Recreation and Park District.
Second.
And Gerald Johnson. Aye. Edgar Castellan.
Yes.
Ross Lacia.
Yes.
Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
I move that the Board of Directors adopts resolution number 2025-30, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Hoopa Area Recreation and Park Maintenance District ordering the levy and collection of assessments within the Hoopa Area Recreation and Park Maintenance District for fiscal year 2025-26.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Kim Gerald Johnson.
Aye.
Edgar Castellan.
Yes.
Ross Lacia.
Yes.
Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Good to see everyone again in person in 3D.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Of course. Good to be here.
Have a safe drive home.
Thank you.
She did tour JCC while she got here, was thoroughly impressed.
Yes,
Oh.
yes. You guys are doing lots of good work, so keep it up.
Thank you, then be safe.
Moving on to item 5.3, consideration of the installation of 2 cricket pitches at Centennial Park. Mr. DeWitt.
Yes, thank you. We do have 2 members tonight from the different cricket leagues here that are using Centennial Park. They have some temporary cricket pitches out there right now, and they're working okay, but as they're continuing to grow, and they are requesting for some installation of permanent cricket pitches. I'm gonna let them give me a presentation for you. I'm thoroughly enthralled with this sport. I want to learn more about it. They have invited me out to come and watch a game. I wish I knew more, but it's very interesting, and these gentlemen speak very passionately about the sport. So with that, I'm gonna turn it over, and we do a presentation here. I don't know who wants to begin, but please.
Good evening. My name is Sid. I'm the vice president of the Hoopa Cricket League, and this is Mr. Hargurinder. He's the president for AHM Youth. So we operate on Saturdays, Hoopa Cricket League, and he operates the Sunday League for us. And we've been here at Centennial Park for over 3 years, and we've been working with the temporary pitches. But when we started, there were not like a lot of teams and a lot of people not interested. But slowly, as we have started, over time, a lot of people have caught on, and the demand is more. Like our booking has been extending, like throughout the year. So, but the only thing they want from us is like something we have like permanent pitch. So, if you guys give us that opportunity, we will have the booking throughout the year, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. both Saturdays and Sundays. And obviously on all the holidays that you guys need it for like other purposes, other events, we won't have any issue. We will work with the city and other activities as well. And plus we have a lot of youth involvement in there. So their parents come and all they want from us is just give them a permanent pitches. Like a couple of cities in California, Southern California, they already have those. One park in El Monte, they are already providing that. So we want similar kind of opportunity over here. So we will grow even more. I got some of the videos.
Yeah, I don't know what else you wanted to go over with them. Essentially, the pitch is 10 feet wide, 70 feet long. It'll be a concrete base, and then they put a synthetic grass over it for aesthetics. And the purpose of it is to get a consistent bounce. And they have a video here when the pitch is made.
Yeah, as of right now, we are using the helipad.
Yeah, this is kind of idea about the grounds.
Yeah, this is.
So all we need is something like that. So that is like the requirement for like consistent bounce, like Mr. Colby has explained.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Just
like I said, I'm very interested to learn how this sport's played. But,
See, you guys are very familiar with baseball, right? Obviously. So it's just like a mount. The catcher like distance. I mean, a little bit more, but obviously in baseball, they don't bounce it. So it's just, unless it's a curveball, right? And somebody chases it and stuff, but we just bounce it, so we just need good surface to throw the ball in there.
So I assume traditionally it was just played on grass.
Yeah, but grass is a lot of work.
Mhm.
Like the grass pitches, obviously they do a lot of rolling. They have like certain kind of soil for that.
And a certain kind of grass, and
Certain kind of grass, like
probably like on a golf course, like around the,
exactly.
yeah.
and they want it really hard. And they roll it with a weighted roller.
Like a
Yeah.
traditional tennis court, actually.
Like an old-
Tennis
yes,
courts are
exactly.
played on
Yeah, like
lawn tennis.
yeah, all reasons we can play like that.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of work. Like you have to do that throughout the week.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of water is required for that, the grass to stay.
How are we going to make sure that in the process of mowing the rest of the grass, they don't?
We've already talked with our landscape maintenance. It's gonna be an obvious different transition of the grass. The synthetic is just a naturally different color. It'll be obvious that they're not going to run over it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we want to pick something that is like an emerald green, not something that, do you want something that blends in more or?
No, I think we want to be contrasting
Okay.
Yes.
for that exact, one of the exact reasons. Yeah. So, so the groups have been out here. They've been good tenants. We've had some discussions with some parking issues that have arose, and they're working with their participants to address that. They pay their bills on time. They actually usually pay ahead, which is unheard of with our groups. And they are actually talking as well, looking, they have a storage container down there. Of either removing it, because they won't necessarily need it per se as much, or wrapping it like we're talking about doing with our other stuff.
We will wrap it.
Yeah. So,
It's not down in the hole.
yes, it's,
Are we allowed?
yeah, the county flood has no problems with that.
Are you just treating out grass for concrete? It's.
Well, no, she's talking about your storage container.
Storage can.
But there's no concern, it's not taking up any volume,
Right.
and the volume that the storage container takes up is not significant enough to impact. If it's a 100-year flood, then it can make.
The container probably the first thing to float away.
And I know it can be confusing, but we're not the city.
Yeah.
We're a separate parks district, and so we have nothing to do with the city of River Valley. So
So
just so you know.
Is there an ESPN channel that has cricket so we can all watch and learn?
Oh yeah, there are a bunch of channels.
Hmm.
Actually, recently there's a league going on in the United States. They, obviously Coliseum, Oakland. They had a few games past weekend. So 3-4 games.
Gonna have
So
to-
what they did for temporary, they installed a temporary pitch and they played on to the baseball field.
I'm gonna have to learn about cricket.
It's a lot of similarities with the baseball. Obviously, baseball is very famous here, but a lot of kids who play baseball, they come on the weekend and play cricket with us.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, and from what I'm hearing, Gary is being very modest, but he is a very good cricket player.
Yeah, he's one of the good players here in Southern California.
And so there's two different, they're part of the Southern California Cricket Association.
Yes.
Yeah, we are,
Yes, and so there's a level 1, level 4, right?
yeah.
Yeah, he's leading the level 1. Yeah. So basically, like a baseball, they have tiers: AAA, AA.
Correct.
I think the 1A is being the highest.
3A is the highest, 1.
Okay, yeah. So it's the opposite. So over is like 1 is the
Yeah.
highest.
Yeah.
The 4th is the lowest. So he's leading a good team in Division 1, basically.
Question,
Yeah.
I think in the last page I'm seeing like some soccer field layouts. Is that currently kind of what's being?
So what we do, because we know we do play some soccer games out there, and we've worked with the groups and we've worked with the soccer leagues. And in the proposal here, Yeah, this one right here is just not. This is kind of how we propose to lay it out, so it would impact the least amount of. We won't impact any of the soccer layouts when we do it, so we've all worked together to come up with this layout. Yeah,
What about the football?
football has not come back with anything.
You've reached out to them and they haven't expressed any concern? Okay,
Not using it, so they use it for a flag in the spring, correct, Zena?
And they're not large enough where
Yeah.
they would have to use that much.
oh, I thought they were practicing and stuff down there, no?
They're for tackle, they practice at Centennial. For spring, for their flag, they practice at, I'm sorry. The other way around, they practice at Veterans Memorial for tackle because it's in the fall, they need the lights.
Mm.
In the spring, because baseball has priority, we need the lights for that, they practice at Centennial, and they only had 60 kids, I want to say. So it was not an impact at all.
Okay,
They just need open turf to practice.
gotcha.
And if they do come back, I suggest we say removable goalposts.
Yeah, I don't think they're coming back.
Yeah, it's all good. Any other questions or comments?
So this gives you plenty of room, the one on the bottom that's.
Yes, yeah, like we already, like the measurements, like shown is perfect.
Okay,
That's more than like
okay.
room for us.
I move the board of directors approve the installation of 2 cricket pitches at Centennial Park and authorize the general manager to coordinate the installation.
Second. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0.
You're good.
All right.
Thank you, guys. These gentlemen have been very patient with our staff transition, so I do again appreciate it. And we'll be in contact in the next couple of days and start coordinating everything. Things I know they want to start yesterday.
I know we know that it's a process. We have to run you guys trust first. So we've been, doing everything and we're learning a lot of stuff. Obviously, we made some like errors as well, but we kept improving and hopefully, we'll grow and, everything works out. And thank you guys.
Thank you. Invite us out so we can learn as well.
Oh, yeah. We obviously, we have discussed that when we get the pitches done and everything, we're gonna do a charity game
Okay.
and we'll do a fundraiser. And obviously we will organize at least couple for the city, the firefighters, we will have a couple or at least 3-4 fundraising games throughout the year.
Oh, fantastic.
And they've been doing it like other cities as well. So we will just follow the model and try to do it over.
Thank you.
Preferably not in August. Too hot. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
You don't have to stay. You're more than welcome to stay, but you don't have to.
Our job is done. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your.
Thank you.
Of course.
Moving on to item 5.4, public hearing and adoption of resolution number 2025-31 for the district's fee schedule related to service charges and general fees. Mr. DeGuid.
Yes, thank you. And of course, the sneeze is coming on, so I apologize now. Maybe it's not going to, so good. Yes, this is an update to our fee policy, I'm sorry, our fee schedule. The only thing being proposed right now is some updated fees related to the Hoopa Community Center usage, as well as adopting fees associated with the Hoopa Mountains Discovery Center. Other than that, there's no changes to anything. I just want to make it clear and on the record, this has nothing to do with our development impact fees as well. So with that, Zena's going to honestly be the better person if you had any questions for this. But what we've done is we've tried to make our fees more consistent for our facility use across the board. Obviously, the rates are different, but the same structure for strip structure style for the Hoopa Community Center versus Skyview Event Center versus Senior Center or Veterans Memorial. We're really trying to push consistency across the board, and staff's currently working on updating all their rental policies as well, so they're consistent. And when it has to do with number of days in advance is required for rentals, cancellation policies, just so we're consistent. The only differences obviously would be the facility fee because small, medium versus large. And then the other thing we're talking about here is the fees associated with Hoopa Mountains Discovery Center. And these are the existing fees they've been using and bringing them, adopting them as is. And then throughout the years, we're constantly evaluating Discovery Center. We'll be looking at those and making recommendations next year for adjustments as we see fit. So
We do it sooner than
we
they.
could do, if something becomes blatantly obvious, then yeah, we could do it at any time. We just need to do a public hearing on it.
Of course.
So with that, I'd be available for any questions you may have, or as Miss Whitney as well.
Whoever rents has to go through our security company.
Correct. Yeah, we have a contract that we're actually out to bid on right now to update it, but they have to use our security company. That way everybody has a brother, uncle, cousin, or somebody that way, but we know it's consistency. We have the insurance, we know their contact, we know their schedule, we know they're gonna show up. It's part of our contract. If they don't show up, there's an on-call that they get somebody there, so it's just for peace of mind.
I just have one question for clarification. If you rent the JCC building out and they want to use both inside and out, it's a separate fee to use outside, or if they want to rent the facility?
So if they're renting the wedding garden, it's an add-on to the event. You can't just do the wedding garden.
$75.
Oh,
It's an upcharge. It's not a,
Yeah, I just didn't know if they wanted to rent the facility, if they had a big wedding and they wanted to be able to go inside and out, that is an additional.
yeah, it's always been set that way.
Yeah, we can open the gates for them and they can. People do jumpers, sometimes they do pictures.
Okay, I just wanted clarification if,
So if they want to use the outside for, say, cocktail hour, sometimes they do things like that. They just pay another $75. But they can't just have a wedding there or can't
Can't
just use
just do the
outside.
wedding garden, correct.
okay,
Now, why is that?
Often because it would conflict with the rental that's already there and it's just easier to streamline it.
Restrooms outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. Makes sense.
Otherwise,
Never mind.
it's skate park restrooms and.
Okay.
So we do need to open the public hearing, Mr. President.
I will now open the public hearing for item 5.4. Any public comments? Okay, I will now close the public hearing for item 5.4. And with that, I will entertain a motion.
I move that the Board of Directors adopt resolution number 2025-31, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Jurupa Area Recreation and Park District adopting the updated fee schedule.
second,
And can we get roll call, please?
Carol Johnson. Aye. Edgar Castellan.
Yes.
Ross Lacia.
yes,
Jose Luis Lagunas.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Right. Moving on to item 5.5, review of proposed revisions and possible approval of modification of facilities general policies in the JRPD athletic fields application and procedures manual. Mr. DeWitt.
Yes, and again, this will be an item where Ms. Whitney will be able to provide greater detail for you. This is a revision to a very cumbersome document that has been reduced. Trying to streamline, trying to clarify some gray areas. One of the biggest challenges staff has faced is in regards to the Rancho Cucamonga Regional Sports Park. Historically, we've never really dealt with non-resident leagues. And we have an abundance of them now, so we need to clarify the priority in field allocations is one of the biggest things set forward here. And then closing some gaps that more obvious, so. Does anyone want to add anything else to that, or?
I can think that kind of to sum it up, the biggest thing is making the distinction between what we call recreation leagues that are definitely 100% or at least 80% community groups. Have a large group, at least 4 teams, versus these individual travel teams that are coming out. And they may qualify to be a community group, but their numbers are just lower and they're trying to get multiple fields and they're trying to get all day. And it's kind of something we've done in practice where the bigger leagues get the first priority, but we never had it in writing. So that's the biggest thing is making that distinction between these groups, and actually getting it in the policy so that the allocation manual would match.
So what would they do with the field for all day? play other teams or?
Sometimes it would be stuff like that, and we would find that they're holding friendlies. We may do a social media search and find out that's what they were actually doing, and it wasn't kosher. They may not have had the permits for insurance and things like that. They had something for us saying, "Oh, we're just doing scrimmages with our teams."
And
So
then you find out it's something.
yeah, so this is just a way to do a loophole, puts them on second priority. So it's like, okay, we're going to allocate to our bigger groups, and then what's left we'll divvy up the
And
money.
it's not just our bigger groups, but it's our resident groups first.
Yeah. But you-
Well, isn't art friendlies basically tournaments in which they raise money?
No,
No.
it's just like a match, an official match.
It's more more than a scrimmage, less than a tournament.
Yeah.
And sometimes they do it as a fundraiser. They'll do a toy drive, and that's their friendly. They don't charge fees per se for the entry. It's you bring a donation as part of that, and they raise that as part of their community give back.
But it's not intrinsically a
Yeah.
fundraiser.
There's no price.
Adds it to it. That's an aspect to it. So.
It's definitely challenging for staff. And it's that scrimmages or friendlies are typically associated with girls softball.
Yeah.
Soccer just calls them a scrimmage or a game. There's nothing in between type of a deal. Baseball, they just call them a scrimmage. It's just really the challenges that Xena has faced in this is, and the allocations is really associated with the soccer park. Because it's such a nice facility. Our resident recreation leagues get first priority. And we have an abundance of non-resident organizations that are really fighting for what's left. And some of them don't care and they'll pay whatever we want. But they want priority over the recreation league. And policy doesn't specifically say that right now. So we've been enforcing it that way because we know that's the board's intent. But we want to put that in writing. So the priority goes with a resident recreation league.
Competitive.
Then a competitive resident team. Then a non-resident youth league, and this is all youth leagues, I'm sorry, a non-resident youth league, but it doesn't matter if it's recreation or competitive at that point. They're just non-resident, they're the third tier. And then it goes to
Private.
private.
And that would include boys, or even boys, you,
That includes, yeah,
We do have some private
Yeah.
youth leagues as well. That
but
are,
they're also private.
Yeah.
only.
and by private, it means that they don't have a 501c3 determination.
and they don't meet the residency requirement.
It's very complicated. The travel ball industry has boomed the last decade and has changed the face of youth sports. And it has made staff's job in allocating it very
They
challenging.
splinter off of other groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys think politics is bad? Youth sports is 10 times worse.
I had one word I wanted to add.
Okay, yes, we talked about this.
In the paragraph that we're adding about,
Page,
I'm sorry, I don't have.
yeah.
The cancellation one?
No, about, the board not having, the board not getting paid,
Oh, they're the requirements for the board. Okay.
Yeah. whatever that is.
It's in the classifications part. It's
Yeah, I know where you're
Yeah.
looking.
Page 7 out of 53.
7?
7 out of 53, yeah.
actual,
That sounds familiar.
it's the 6th page of that action document.
Yeah, just don't want to go too fast.
There you go.
Right there.
Yep.
Says the board of directors must have, I would like to add volunteer, have volunteer unpaid officers. I know it means the same thing, but I feel like it just clarifies that completely to say volunteer unpaid officer.
How about unpaid volunteer officers?
I don't
Okay.
care. Just put the word volunteer in there. So that's all I want.
Because we use the volunteer later in the paragraph, right before treasurer, if you look. So-
Yes, you do use that
Yeah.
word. So I think it just makes it That's all I would like. The other thing I just want to point out, this is turning into a bit of a Frankenstein document. It dates back from before Colby got here, and we just keep trying to change it and make it better. And I would like, if there's a consensus on the board, to direct staff to just start over. Time to start over.
Well, I think this could be more of a procedural, the actually allocation, but because we were adding on classification, the reason they needed to go together.
That's fine, but I still feel like it's,
There's some repeat, it can be.
well, there's some repeat and there's like places where the tense or the verb usage changes where, it's like a bullet point and the first one is a full sentence and the second one is a partial sentence. I just think if we clean it up, look at what other people do, see if we can't get it to be a clean, neat document that isn't so just higgledy-piggledy. That would be mine.
Well,
And it's not higgledy-piggledy because anybody did a bad job. It's higgledy-piggledy because it's so old.
Yeah.
And because things have changed so much, like Colby was saying. And so that's why I feel it's a bit higgledy-piggledy, not because anybody did a bad job.
Yeah, think of the definition of that word.
No, they're just talking about-
No.
Am I the only one? Diana, have you heard higgledy-piggledy? Okay, thank you. Glad somebody, that's one. Yeah.
I have a question. Do we have a part in here that says like if they violate any of these instances, and then is there like a tiered from
It's-
punishment?
You get a warning, you get a second warning, and depending on the severity, obviously, the warning could be your last warning. So it's on the scale.
We have revoked groups
Mhm.
license or permits. Really, when it comes down to the biggest offense that we've dealt with is group subletting fields and for profit. So we ban them, just hope we'll lose our number. So,
Yeah, just so we're also protected in that.
yeah, no, exactly.
And then any other questions or comments? Do you want to add that to the motion?
What's that?
Um,
And that we direct staff to,
come back.
With that change and
well, for staff to make the one correction, adding the word volunteer. Yes, I can move that the board of directors approve the proposed changes to the facilities general policies and the athletic field allocation procedures manual with the addition of the word volunteer as discussed, and directing staff to do a complete renovation or redo of the field allocation policies and procedures.
All second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes fourth.
just clarify, you're not asking for a specific timeline on that, correct?
Less than a year.
I would say within the year, so we're fine.
Yeah.
Zena's got a whole new team right now, so she'll appreciate it. We can work on that.
I expect tomorrow.
Well, one's been here for 3 days and one's been here for 7.
I see.
So thank you, at least till the end of the year.
Good luck. with
Thank you.
New hire.
I appreciate it.
I think she's got a good team right now, so we're excited.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, moving on to item 5.6. Authorize general manager to execute and record a certificate of acceptance regarding a deed for Hoopa Mountains Discovery Center real property. Mr. DeQuinn.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Owen was not able to be here today, but he has been working on this for us, and we have received all the paperwork necessary to essentially finalize the transfer of the property from the Hoopa Mountains Discovery Center or Hoopa Mountain Cultural Center to the district. So like I said, it's been a long process here, so it's just the final step in this process. So we're excited for it.
Is this the part that gets sent to the Attorney General?
No, that's already been done. That was on the Discovery Center's, the Cultural Center, board's responsibility, and that's been done. And I think the 20-day period actually ends tomorrow, today.
Okay, we're going back and forth. Is it because legally they're still the cultural center?
They're legally still the cultural. It's the Cultural Center is the owner of the
Doing
Discovery
business
Center.
as.
Doing business as.
Okay.
You say a target date of July 1st.
Yep, and we're good. This will get recorded on the state.
You got the board of directors authorize the general manager to execute and record, along with the applicable deed, a certificate of acceptance on behalf of the district.
I'll second. Oh, Andrew can have it. That's fine. Okay.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
We will note the
Excitement?
excitement, yes.
All right, moving on to item 5.7. Adopt resolution 2025-32 approving the application for the Land Water Conservation Fund for 37th Street Park project. Mr. Newman.
Yes. Yeah, this is a resolution we need to adopt to apply for Land Water Conservation Fund for 37th Street Park. I'll be honest, I hope this is really just a formality. As you know, we've already applied for ORLP, which is Outdoor Recreation Legacy Program for 37th Street Park. We've already been recommended from the state on this project through to the National Park Service. And the state just strongly encouraged us to apply for this as well, just in case something doesn't happen with the ORLP project. But we've, as recently as this week, have been informed that the National Park Service is just finishing up last year's allocations. They're a little behind schedule with everything going on at the federal government right now, and anticipate accepting this year's applications August or September of this year. Our grant was actually finalized today with the state and is in the queue to be submitted to the National Park Service for the ORLP. Should we not be funded, this application for the Land Water Conservation Fund would be in place and be a fallback. But if we do get funded, we would just withdraw this application. So it's just trying every avenue available to us. So with that, I'd be available for any questions. Very similar funding mechanisms, very similar allocation timelines.
Any questions or comments?
That's applying for grants.
So since one's state, one's federal, you can't go for both?
They're actually both federally funded.
Oh, yeah. well,
Yeah, this one's just Land Water Conservation Fund is administered by the state. ORLP is ran through the state Parks Office of Grants and Local Services, just like this. You apply to them, they take what they feel to be the highest scoring, and they recommend it to the National Park Service. Land Water Conservation Fund, I put the key points in there, how it's funded and what the very similar funding criteria. The applications ironically are not identical, but we really just did find and replaces in the applications, and they have it's the federal government. They have some quirky stuff they ask for. I had to go and take pictures for ORLP today because our grant consultant is working on it, and then the state, we have an assigned liaison. Lydia, her recommendation is I literally had to go out and stand at the park and stand at the edge of the property facing south and take a picture. Stand at the east end facing west and take a picture. Stand at the west end facing east and take a picture. And stand at the south side facing north and take a picture. All of the same dirt and label them that way, and that's what they want them submitted. So just some quirky little things they ask for.
Interesting groups.
They wanted we have this map, I'm sure it's part of this project. Okay, this mouse just froze again on that. Pretty sure it's right here. This map, the plot map that was submitted, they recommended it be redone because these are solid lines and they want them dashed lines.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just, okay, whatever. We can make these changes, guys. It's just, and she's been a great help to us. And me and Sam, who's our consultant, we just kind of chuckle at some of them and just, we don't ask, we just do it. And then Community Works Design has been phenomenal in getting us any updates to our, that plot map right there. And they kind of chuckle too, like, no, we've dealt this in the past. We understand. So it's whatever. There's just some odd things they ask for.
Very good.
So
All right, any questions or comments?
I move the Board of Directors approve resolution number 2025-32, approving the application for the Land Water Conservation Fund for the 37th Street Park Project.
All right, all in favor? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's a resolution.
Okay, so Edgar, that was you, the second, okay. Kim Jo Johnson. Aye. Edgar Castelo.
Yes.
Ross Lasia.
Yes.
Salem Sedina.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
And moving on to item 5.8, adoption of resolution number 2025-33, declaring the month of July as Parks Make Life Better Month.
Yeah, this is always a fun one for us. Nationally, July is recognized as Park and Recreation Month. Here in California, it's Park Makes Life Better Month. Staff has a bunch of activities planned this year again. Social media posts to go along with it. Staff's really focusing on some staff and what they do in their day. You'll see a lot of videos that we're putting together. It's always something fun that we do. We like to do stuff within our park system as well, beyond just our concerts and July 3rd and stuff like that. So you'll see stuff coming from staff as well, just promoting all of our facilities that we have. So, and then now with the addition of the Herb Mountains Discovery Center, I think it kind of makes it even a little more special this year. So.
And I like that we live by these words as well. So it's not just, something we throw out there. Any questions or comments? Yep. All right. I move the Board of Directors adopt resolution number 2025-33, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Jurupa Area Recreation and Park District declaring July 2025 as Parks Make Life Better Month.
I'll second.
All right. Roll call, please. Roll call.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Kim Jo Johnson. Aye. Edgar Castelo. Ross Lasia.
Yes.
Jose Luis Medina.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
All right.
Entering in. No.
All right, moving on to item 5.9, authorization for general manager to execute and deliver acknowledgement form received from the County of Riverside regarding subordination of pass-through payments in connection with county successor agencies issuance of 2025 bonds. Mr. DeGwitt.
So I think that agenda explains it all, huh?
Yeah.
So this is
There's mine.
a little confusing. I had to have Bob do some research on this and just verification for us. Luckily, he knows the attorney working on this for the county. In a nutshell, I think his staff report did a good job describing it, but the county is refinancing two bonds associated with the old RDA redevelopment agency, one here in Rupa Valley, another one out in Blizzard. And when Governor Brown dissolved redevelopment agencies back in 2008, something like that, 14, I don't know, something along those lines. Part of the deal was that the debt was paid off, the savings was passed on to the agencies that were the funds were being taken for to pay for the bonds. The other part of it is if they refinanced any of the bonds, it had to show a savings. So essentially that's what they're doing. They're refinancing two of the bonds. And we have to acknowledge that it's going to save us money. That's all that this is. So it's more of an information item than anything. But basically, if you go down here to the where the first one or second one, I forget. It was the first one. So the first one, what we would have got versus what we will get, we're gonna just over $10,000 more in the redevelopment pass-through funds the first year. So as you multiply that out through the length of this bond, it goes up significantly towards the end of it. So about an extra 20,000 compared to what we would have got. So it's a good thing.
I move that the board approve and authorize the general manager to execute and deliver the acknowledgement form provided by the County of Riverside regarding the subordination of district pass-through payments in connection with county successor agencies issuance of 2025 refunding bonds.
Second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Moving on to item 5.10. Approve and authorize execution of employment agreement with general manager.
I've actually asked Ms. Bogus to present this one.
tonight you're presented with the agreement that was discussed in detail during a closed session, special meeting that you had. And no changes have been made. To my knowledge, there was no changes requested. So it is presented in the same form it was presented at the time. Mr. Good was went through his annual review, at which he's done an excellent job, as we all will acknowledge, all the hard work he's done. And that we feel this is a very fair and equitable representation of what his employment agreement should contain. Are there any questions at this point? If agreed upon tonight and voted on, it would be needed signed by Jose Luis Godinez as the board president, to put into effect July 1. And then this is the amendments are set forth for the next 3 years at the 5% rate.
I move that the board of directors approve and authorize the president of the board of directors to execute the submitted employment agreement with the general manager on behalf of the district.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Very proud to work with him. He's a great boss.
Thank you all very much.
Great. Moving on to general manager's report.
Thank you. A couple big things. Obviously next week is July 3rd, our Independence celebration. In front of you, you do have your packet for park pass and your admission tickets. We hope to see you all out there. Contrary to somebody on Facebook, no, Taylor Swift is not performing at the event. It's not an AI generated flyer. It is clearly a cover band, Twist on Taylor, that will be performing. We are excited for the activity. Staff is working vigorously to get everything ready to make it as smooth as possible. Staff does a phenomenal job putting this on. I don't think anybody truly realizes the logistics that go into it. Valerie and her team are doing a phenomenal job, and every day she's giving me updates, and she's getting all kinds of donations for stuff in kind. All of our water for staff has been donated by Costco. Walmart came in and donated snacks for everybody for the day. So it's going great in that aspect. We're getting a lot of positive feedback from everybody. Right now, weather's looking pretty darn solid for the day, about 90-ish degrees at start. So we're excited for that. Other than that, today marks halfway of the summer for us, basically. We're 2 sessions through on our swim lessons. We're 2 sessions through on our summer day camp program. Both are going very strong. We had 25 kids in day camp these last 2 weeks, which is really good numbers for our program, considering there's so many of the free programs available here through the school district. We take next week off as we're prepping everybody for the holiday week, and we just found a lot of people tend to be gone and don't participate as much during that holiday week. And we kick back up that following Monday, which is like the 8th, I want to say 7th. Youth basketball is going strong. The contractor starting on the painting of Veterans Memorial Community Center will begin Monday, and that's going well. Just an update for the board on the JMDC transition. As you're aware, we kind of completed the final steps here tonight. Myself and Ms. Vogus have been meeting weekly with staff from JMDC, going through the transition process, talking about the financial aspects, talking about the scheduling, policies, procedures that need to now be administered or new ones that have to be created. I think it's been very productive discussions, very welcomed from the staff. Some of it's stuff they've never had to deal with, so there's going to be some learning curves there. But also some of it, I think they're starting to realize truly the resources that are going to be available to them and how things can be simplified. Frankly, they were doing some very archaic procedures just because they didn't have the resources available, like our recreation software that is going to simplify so many things for them once we get everything set up. So we're really excited about that. Maintenance staff has been slowly kind of touring the facility and getting some game plans together. You know, we're not gonna hit the ground running per se, but we're gonna have a pretty brisk walk that first week because it is July 3rd. But Kurt and his team are starting to formalize a game plan to get the facility up and going. Like I said, Discovery Center staff, as of this afternoon, every single one of them has completed their onboarding now. So come Tuesday, they're ready to work as district employees. I think they've all been very energetic as well. They've asked questions. There's, you know, just things they're not used to having to do. But at the same point, I think they're starting to really appreciate some of the structure that's going to be provided. So with that, I'm telling staff this is going to be fun. It's not going to be stressful. We only have one way to go, and that is up. And with the staff we have in place with the district right now, with the staff we're coming on, I think there's going to be a lot of good things happening. So we'll be providing you guys with regular updates in regards to that. You're going to have a lot of things coming before you in regards to Discovery Center as we're creating, identifying policies and procedures that the board's already requested be created. Recognizing every time I'm out there, I find something new. Mr. Leja, I appreciate his help, came out a couple of weeks ago. They have a rock crusher that is non-operational. We were pretty sure what the problem was. He confirmed it. I think he fried a multimeter in the process.
Yeah, the average was so high, it blew my meter apart.
Little high, got that confirmed. We're ready to have that. That's gonna be repaired.
Only a couple $100 to replace it.
Not a problem. Far better than buying a new one, that's for sure. He was thoroughly impressed with the collection they have out there. We'll put it that way.
Okay, it's a nice way to put it.
It's a nice way to put it. But we're excited for it's a challenge. Staff understands it's gonna be a challenge. But I'm making it known that it's a priority, but this is a great opportunity and this is going to be fun. It's gonna be hard work, but we're gonna make it fun. So with that, I think I hit everything. Other than just thanking Loretta, Cody, Lorena have been working diligently these last couple of weeks, doing the onboarding process. We're meeting regularly in regards to Discovery Center. And today we sat down and I said, hey, Wes called me last night. He had something we completely forgot about. And we all went, oh yeah, what about? We got to start sending letters to all their current vendors. All the bills come here now. We need, just things along those lines. But we're ready to go. Leonard's got the banking information ready to go. Ready to flip that switch and we're good to go. So have you got any questions?
I have a question about her from Discovery Center. I had a question about Clay Park. Is
Yes,
there something going on there about the grass?
there's no nutrients in that soil. It's clay. That's why you're talking about, because the dead spots, the brown spots.
Circles.
That and it's they're better crop circles than they used to be. That irrigation system, I joke, but it's true, needs to be replaced. It's at its life. It's pushing 40 years old. There is known water pressure issues there. There's extremely hard water within that facility. Our maintenance department now just annually replaces the pressure regulator because it just takes such a beating there. It needs to be completely stripped out. We need to probably remove 6 inches of soil, import 6 inches of nutrient-rich soil, and redo the entire irrigation system with a modern properly pressure regulated facility. We're gonna find more
Green. It's just odd because there'll be a little narrow strip of green with a big circle here and a big circle here. And I'm not understanding how a sprinkler can just sprinkle here and not here and not here.
Part of it's just there may be an issue. I'll have staff double check the sprinklers, but for the most part, everything we have breaks out there constantly from the pressure issues. And that leads to a lot of our problems. There's gonna be more
No.
fittings than PVC pipe work in that park.
Are there any leaks up later or anything?
No.
Do you-
No,
No, it's just
So when we, because we have, we're changing the turf, right? That's one of our,
we'll remove that turf, yeah.
so can we make like little pocket gardens or do we need like a whole flat area? Or-
When we get to that park, this is a whole nother
Yeah.
this should be a whole nother discussion. We're getting kind of off topic here. That's an older design park. You take that, I put that with Rancho Miraloma, Clay Park, Wineville, even Larimore. Just vast open grass spaces that are not really programmable. It's costly to maintain. We can look at alternatives to some of the turf that can help reduce and change some of that to reduce our operating costs. But what that is, I don't know what to tell. I don't know what it is, but I understand what you're saying. How can we reduce some of these as well? But it's that if that whole park is just patchy, it always has been patchy. We've spent all kinds of money in bringing in topsoil and the ground just sucks it up and then
goes patchy.
goes back patchy again.
Well, because you were there the other night.
Oh, yeah. I will tell you, Kurt's comment to me was, do a concert in the park anywhere but Clay Park, please.
Because he knows it's, yeah.
I did see a plaque just like there. So, and I know we have one here. Do you think we can dress it up a little bit?
Which
Or-
plaque was that at? Was it by a tree?
It was on the, yeah, by a tree towards the west side of the park.
Over by the gazebo area?
Yeah, just can we put some shrubs around it or something? Just 'cause it's
I need
just
to
there.
look and see what it is. I'll talk to Kurt, see what we do.
I know where you're talking.
What was the flag for?
This is like a remembrance plaque.
Yeah. A tree in somebody's honor.
Yeah, it's leaning a little more towards yeah, like a tripping hazard than a
Okay.
plaque kind of thing.
I think I know where it's at. I'll talk to staff.
Yeah, just some nice plants around it.
Any other questions?
All right. Moving on to board comments, Mr. Leisure.
Yeah, it was the first concert in the park because of family visiting, but we did go to the one Tuesday. It was a lot of fun, regardless of the condition of the turf. The band was excellent. They were energetic. They got everybody out there. I will say I'm a little disappointed that Colby did not join the line dancing with the rest of them. If you were out there, a lot of the staff got out
Didn't
there.
want to embarrass you by not.
I actually took a nice video of it. They were out there, they were line dancing out there. The staff was having a great time. But they were, to be honest, they were not going to get Kobe or myself out there to do that. But it was a lot of fun. I was going to bring up the condition of the turf as well, but since Director Johnson has already done that, I'm looking forward to the next concert in the park.
That's.
Oh, and I don't know if there's anything to be done. My grandkids were here. We went to Memorial Park. They really enjoyed the splash pad. It was being utilized. But there was a family there that had the biggest ice chest full of beers and just getting drunk off their butts there. And I don't know if there's any way to stop it, to do anything about it. I don't know if it was visible on camera because they were kind of under the awning there. They weren't being mean, they weren't being rude, you know. In fact, they offered me a beer, you know, so they were being really nice people. They were happy drunks. But it was just kind of, you know, disappointing to see that at the park.
And that was the middle of the week, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Middle of the week, yeah.
so I just wanted to bring that up, that it was a little disappointing to see that. I don't know if there's a solution. You know, you can't have a watchdog there 24/7, so, but I just wanted to mention it.
Mr. Castellan.
Yeah, I wasn't able to attend the last concert in the park. Went to the first one. That one was great. So I'll be there at the next one. Glad to hear that this last one went well. When I went to Congressman Toscano's town hall, so that was kind of like the first big event I think that we had, right, for GCC in its current remodel. So it went really well. Obviously, packed house. So and it's a lot of great compliments on the building. So happy to have gotten to see that. So
And I was very nervous about the acoustics, but they were great.
Excellent.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was excellent.
And I told the architect at the family, you were right. Just need the bodies to absorb it, so.
Yeah, so I think that's a reflection, obviously, on the new building, so kudos to you all again for that. Happy to hear on the updates on JMDC. So really looking forward to once everything officially kicks in. I'll move forward with the rest of the building or facility. And last thing, I'm looking forward to 3rd of July, so with the Swifties and everything, we'll see how full it gets.
He's already got his bracelet on.
Yeah. I'm ready. Yeah, but that's it for me.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes, I've been at the last two concerts in the park, and I really have to say both bands have been absolutely excellent, very enjoyable, different types of music, but very, very enjoyable. Already mentioned Clay Park and its grass. Yeah, obviously, I think it's something that we need to prioritize because we can't. It's reaching a point where I feel like it's starting to be a little underusable. I don't know that it's underutilized, but that because of this.
It's not the image we're trying to present.
Definitely not. And so we need to do something about that, probably on a sooner rather than later, but we need to get onto our master plan, what do you call it?
Capital improvement plan.
Capital improvement plan, and then that will be a discussion that we'll have at that point in time. On the plus side though, Centennial Parks looks fantastic. You know, if it's not one, it's not another. We're always fighting something, aren't we? So I compliment staff on how well it's been looking.
If there's a mainline break at Centennial tomorrow, Kurt's gonna blame you. You understand that, right?
And I'm very excited that we can help our local cricket teams have an even better facility to utilize. For years, Centennial was severely underutilized. And so I'm excited that it has started to become utilized and for something that is so outside of the normal wheelhouse. So that's fantastic. So that's it.
Right. And for me, the last two concerts in the park have been really fun. Weather's been getting really chilly for some reason. So,
He drinks that one too.
yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to July 3rd. Not necessarily a Swiftie, but I'm open for all kinds of music. Also wanted to mention the Tree People were up at JMDC and they're actually presenting on the 24th of July. So at our next meeting, yeah. And then thank you to staff for everything, you know, on top of JMDC, everything else that y'all do. So thank you for that. And moving on to any committee reports.
No committee reports, but I do want to schedule a recreation facilities and special event committee. And we need to talk about the Latin Heritage Festival.
And any interagency?
No, that was last time.
And then agenda items for future board meetings.
If it would please the board, I was thinking when I was at Memorial Park and going past the Veterans Memorial there, the wall that faces the memorial, I'd like to see if we can discuss maybe commissioning someone to paint a mural on just that one side of the wall. But I don't know if that's what we need to bring up for a future board meeting. I mean, if anybody's been VFW and sees the nice stuff that's on there, something that may depict, you know, a little bit of each branch, I think, just on that one wall.
We actually identified a potential grant this week that popped up through arts.gov. And our consultant provided me some information, so we can put a grant, it's 100% funding, so we can put a grant in, no problem.
Okay, I'd just like to bring that up at one of the meetings, see how the board feels about that, and if it's possible to do.
Good with that. As for me, I think I would like for us to put out a statement regarding our support for the immigrant community and how we can how we won't work with ICE and how our parks and facilities are inclusive spaces. Something to that too.
You like that brought back as an agendized item?
Does it need to be?
Well, if you want the board to vote on it, it does.
Yes.
Then yes, please. If that's okay as an item for the board as well. And with that, our upcoming meetings, meeting July 10th and July 24th will be our next meeting. And with that, I will adjourn the regular meeting at 7:36.
Got warm here.
Green, blue.